Fasten your chin strap and put your pads on. Get a grip on the bat, here comes a fastball. We ain't going one and done, we're here to last long. This the top of the standards, get ready to blast off. Alright, let's do this. Hut hut! Every Sunday afternoon, big sports fanatics coming out your speakers like a piston running with magic. Game time status good to go is automatic. Ready for the blowouts and the instant classics. Calling all the teachers, all the fathers and the mothers. Calling all the kids, all the sisters and the brothers. Dynamic high schoolers in the game like no other preseason. Game 7s, hey, y'all know we got it covered. From the finals to the Super Bowl to the World Series to the Stanley Cup final. Over here we spit it clearly. Andrew Hale and Jotham Israel coming with the hottest topics. Hey, you know what's up with sports. People wanting it, we got it. Yeah, get in the game. It's the top of the standards, man. Get in the game. It's the top of the standards. Yo, get in the game. It's the top of the standards, man. Get in the game. It's the top of the standards. Come on. Get in the game. It's the top of the standards, man. Get in the game. It's the top of the standards. Yo, get in the game. It's the top of the standards, man. Get in the game. It's the top of the standards. Come on.
Yeah, top of the standards. That's what it's about, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, season 2 is here, baby. Yes, Jotham Israel and Andrew Hale, we're back and better than ever. Yes, we got a ton of sports to talk about, as always. And yes, I can rap. I produced the song, I wrote the lyrics, and I rapped it. That is my voice. Yes, you guys better believe it. But before we get started,
man, this is such a great week for sports. The NFL draft, the NHL is heating up, the MLB is starting to get going. But first, I want to talk about the NFL draft. This is very exciting because this may be one of the deepest drafts that we've seen in quite some time. I mean, the quarterbacks, the wide receivers, there's just so much. I'm excited. I want to hear your thoughts, though.
So you remember how they said like last year the wide receiver class was so deep? Yeah, just take out just a little bit of the receivers and smash in some quarterbacks, and now you got a whole lot of controversy. I don't know what the heck. Look, you just gotta love drafts where the only pick that you know for sure is the first one. That is the only one. We know Jacksonville is going to take Trevor Lawrence unless they are just absolutely just wishing for their franchise to just move out of Jacksonville. But dude, I'm loving this draft right now. I don't know where the quarterbacks are going to go outside of Trevor Lawrence. And man, there's some prospects outside of the quarterback position. Patrick Surtain II, and all these guys that are really good players, but can easily slide down the board. Oh my gosh, dude! But I gotta ask you, as a Lions fan, what are you looking for your team to do?
Dude, I have no idea because I've heard a lot of people say that, hey, the Lions may be targeting an O-lineman. They may be targeting a wide receiver. They may be targeting a quarterback. I have no idea. Well, I think the smartest move to go is probably a wide receiver, maybe most likely Jamar Chase. I mean, I wouldn't mind Devontae Smith, but either one of those would be good. Due to the fact that Kenny Galladay's gone, Marvin Jones is gone. I mean, you only have about 4 quarterbacks that you signed in the offseason to play alongside Jared Goff. So I definitely think wide receiver is probably the best choice to go to. But, I mean, if you want to get an O-lineman, stack up on the O-line, I mean, the Lions' O-line is pretty good. I mean, they had Pro Bowl center Frank Ragnow. They have Decker. He's been good these past few years out of Ohio State. So I'm just saying the Lions need to go wide receiver. If they go anywhere else, I don't know how I'd feel about that.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, it looks pretty obvious that you got to draft a wide receiver. If you don't, trade the pick for another receiver that's already established or something like that, just in case. And that's another thing that's interesting too. If quarterbacks fall down, teams are going to look at that. Especially this team right here, they're probably going to be looking at that pick like, maybe we can slide up and draft that quarterback, give up some things. So who knows? Maybe you guys can get Khalil Mack and you give us the first round pick. I don't freaking know.
I take it.
I know the Lions would take it. That would absolutely be that would be interesting. But there's no guarantees, and that's what you love about this draft. I don't know what the Falcons are going to do with that 4th pick. People are saying that they should draft the quarterback. I think they should draft the quarterback. I think it's time for Matt Ryan to move on. Not that he absolutely is trash or he doesn't have another year in him. I believe he can have another year in him, but just not in Atlanta. I think Atlanta has seen enough. I think it's time for them to move on, especially with all the embarrassments that they've gone through over the years. I think it's time for them to find a new identity. So yeah, dude, this draft is so deep. I'm loving this.
Yeah, it's crazy too because I don't think we've seen this many teams need quarterbacks early in the top 10. I mean, we could easily see 4 quarterbacks go in the top 10, which is insane. I don't think I've ever seen that before. That's wild. And then after the top quarterbacks, what quarterback is there? Like I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you. But I'm excited though. I think there are definitely interesting picks on the defensive side, offensive side, maybe even special teams. I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, dude, but I want to see where Kyle Pitts goes. I really want to see where Kyle Pitts goes because I believe he is a bona fide difference maker. And I'm looking at a team like the Dolphins. If they draft Kyle Pitts with that 6th pick, it's either that or Cincinnati. Because I don't know if Atlanta really is tight end needy right now. I think they have bigger needs.
I could also see the Bengals going for an O lineman. That's what they need, in my opinion. They need that. Yeah. You saw what happened to Joe Burrow last year. You don't want that happening again.
No. And that reminds me, because of the 6th pick. Dude, why would the Eagles trade out of the 6th pick? That was the bro. They had Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, Kyle Pitts. They had those guys at their fingertips. Literally, the first 4 picks were probably going to be quarterbacks, and then the Bengals were probably going to be looking for offensive line. You had a difference maker right there at number 6. I understand you got a first rounder for next year, but man, when you got a difference maker that you can get right now, you got to get him.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, but the new Eagles coach is really giving me some Adam Gase type vibes. Did you see what he said in a press conference? Like I think it was a few days ago. He said he challenged prospects to a rock paper scissors, and he would trash talk them to get an observation of their competitiveness. I mean, I guess that's if it works, it works. But I mean, it's kind of weird.
I could name 10 other games that require the least bit of competitive fire. Do something like Connect 4 or maybe even tic-tac-toe. Rock, paper, scissors? That is so random.
Imagine you've been working for this moment all your life, and the first NFL coach you ever meet who has interest in drafting you asks, rock, paper, scissors right now.
I'd be like, shoot, okay, coach. I don't know what this does on the field, but okay. I guess I have a little fun with you.
I don't know, man. The Eagles, come on.
That is so bad, dude. The Eagles literally, I don't know what they were thinking, dude. I mean, I don't understand it, man. And then the Howie Roseman, bro. When I tell you Howie Roseman is the most wanted man in Philadelphia, bro, he is the most wanted. I don't know who's more hated, him in Philadelphia or Ryan Pace in Chicago. It's pretty darn close. But I'm going to give the edge to Howie Roseman in Philadelphia because this man has made some excruciatingly bad draft choices. Yes, I understand he didn't pick Mitchell Trubisky with the number 2 pick, but still, he made some pretty bad choices. I believe he chose Jalen Reagor over DK Metcalf and Arcega Whiteside over Justin Jefferson or something like that. Something like that. They drafted some questionable wide receivers, and it's just like, oh, jeez. And then not only that, Andrew, not only did they trade the pick that they tanked on live television for, but they traded behind New York and Dallas. What? Why would you draft behind your division rivals? You know they're gonna do anything in their power to screw you up.
I don't know what direction the Eagles are going, and now they're saying they're gonna have a QB competition. So, you know what? They should just trade for Nick Foles. Their greatest quarterback of all time. They should easily trade for him, and then I think they'll be set.
Just name Jalen Hurts your starting dude. If Jalen Hurts is not the starting quarterback this year, I do not understand why they would draft him in the first place. If he is not going to eventually be the starter, or even if you get, oh my gosh, dude. You know what? You know what the Bears should do? They should trade for Jalen Hurts. They should have traded for Jalen Hurts because this organization, two dumb organizations in two dumb positions because of dumb decision makers. That would have been perfect. But you know what? Jalen Hurts, if he's not the starter, I'm going to be mad. I'm going to have to run up to Philadelphia and run for mayor, run for GM, run for whatever position and power that the Eagles have open, and literally put my foot down and say, Jalen Hurts is the guy. Do not draft a quarterback. Do not trade for another quarterback. Do not do anything. You already have Joe Flacco. What competition is there between Jalen Hurts and Joe Flacco? Joe Flacco is done. He is done. You hear me, Drew? Done. That D on your head does not mean Detroit now. It means done for Joe Flacco. I'm telling you, bro. This is not a competition.
It doesn't make sense. You brought up a trade to the Bears. Make that Nick Foles trade happen.
It's perfect. It's literally perfect. We get our young quarterback, and they get their greatest quarterback ever. Simple.
Hey, I'd take it. If I were the Eagles, I don't even care. But I don't know. Are they rebuilding? Are they trying to compete? I have no idea.
I don't freaking know, man. But we'll have to see what this Nick Sirianni dude does because the only thing I want from the Eagles is for Jalen Hurts to start because this is messed up. You cannot ask for a worse rookie year when you're not the starter, dude. Like, bro, this man got drafted to back up Carson Wentz, who was the franchise quarterback, still pretty relatively young. The Eagles, they screwed up their whole roster drafting Jalen Hurts. Why would you draft Jalen Hurts when you have Carson Wentz? That just goes to show that this organization doesn't trust any quarterback. This whole quarterback factory BS is gotta go, dude. You know what the Vikings did when they had Sam Bradford, Case Keenum, and Teddy Bridgewater on the same roster? They moved guys out immediately. That's what the Eagles have got to do now. You get your little third quarterback off the practice squad and let Jalen Hurts be the starter. That's all I got to say about the Eagles. I'm done talking about this garbage team right now, man. I cannot believe you double doinked us for this. Come on, man.
Hey, I respect your rant on the Eagles. It was much deserved, in my opinion. I don't know. One prospect that really intrigues me is Micah Parsons. Since you're a Penn State fan, where do you think he's going to go? Because I've seen people say, oh, he might go to 7 with the Lions, or he might drop. Who knows?
I got him going to the Giants, man.
Okay.
I think I got him going to the Giants because you look down the board. Obviously, teams are going to be quarterback heavy. The Giants think they have their quarterback. I'm still up in the air with Daniel Jones, but I don't think it's time to bona fide, draft another quarterback to replace him just yet. I mean, we can pump the brakes, give him a couple more years. Guys were healthy. If guys were healthy, he'd probably do better. And even though they were 6-10, they were literally one tank job less away from winning the division and going to the playoffs. But without Saquon too, so obviously that's a bit impressive. And Joe Judge has been doing a good job. He's been doing a good job so far. Not great because it's still 6-10. That's not going to win you the division every single year. But yeah, that for what this division standards are, this is a pretty good job that Joe Judge is doing. And that defense is getting up there. They shut down Russell Wilson. They shut down some good teams and. The Giants could do something if the dominoes fall right. So I think they should look at the defensive end and draft Micah Parsons and turn a good defense into a potentially elite defense.
Hey, I wouldn't mind seeing that. I think you're right. I think they are on the right track. I mean, all their signings in the offseason as well, the wide receiver. I don't know. This is going to be an interesting year for the Giants. I think we'll be able to tell if they can actually really make a good run in the future. I don't know, but it should be interesting. I just can't believe how many quarterbacks we're going to see go in the top 10. I'm just predicting. I think we're going to see 4, but it's insane.
We might see 5 if teams decide to trade up, because Trey Lance and Mac Jones, they're pretty much dark horses in the back of that quarterback pack,
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to be honest. I don't want this to happen because I'm not a Mac Jones fan. I don't think he's that good. But I've seen a lot of people say that him and the 49ers are connected, and that's the quarterback that they, or the pick that they might use with the third one on Mac Jones, which is, it's ugly to me, bro. It's ugly.
See, the 49ers took a big risk by drafting up to that third spot. That was a big risk. I mean, you don't just trade up there for no reason. You're trading up there to draft a quarterback. 49ers are basically look, this is what I hate about the NFL sometimes. When they do things that are obvious to the naked eye and they deny it. You trade up to number 3 with Jimmy Garoppolo on your roster. You clearly don't want Jimmy Garoppolo anymore. That's a clear signal that you don't want Jimmy Garoppolo. Because, I mean, obviously, dude has, been injury-riddled. And I know the 49ers are thinking, the 1 year this man was fully healthy, he took us to the Super Bowl and had Patrick Mahomes on the ropes in the Super Bowl. So you get a established quarterback, quote-unquote. I mean, I don't expect the 49ers to, be led by a rookie and go to a Super Bowl this year. But, I mean, for going up, trading up to number 3 for Mac Jones, this, you know what? I don't know, man. I don't know about Mac Jones. I mean, he had all those weapons. And this is what people are afraid about Alabama quarterbacks. They look at the rosters, around those Alabama quarterbacks, and they're like, you had that defense, you had those wide receivers. Of course, you're going to be good. What are you going to do with this wide receiver corps instead of having Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, and Ridley and freaking Ruggs and all these boys that came out of Alabama as wide receivers over the past few years, and Najee Harris too, which I'm going to be interested to see where he's going to go. I mean, he's probably going to fall, into the double digits because running backs and he's there's not a lot of teams that are really running back needy, but dang, he would be a really good running back.
And Travis Etienne. I want to see where he goes because I was just surprised when he stayed all those years at Clemson instead of going his junior year. I think he may be a difference maker on. I think he would be somewhat similar to, let's say, a J.K. Dobbins, a player who maybe drops to the second round, who had DeAndre Swift taken over him. I don't know. I feel like because he's a quick player, he can do a lot on his feet. So I'm interested in seeing where he goes as well. The running back, that's interesting. There's quite a few that may be some difference makers on a few teams.
Yeah, obviously a lot of defensive linemen, a lot of cornerbacks. I mean, there's some good defensive players too. But man, I'll say this one last thing. I really do want to know where my boy Elijah Moore is going to end up, because after we obviously remembered the Egg Bowl incident, the Egg Bowl hydrant celebration. I'm interested to see where he goes because, obviously he's had, a pretty, up and down time after that, similar to that boy Marco Wilson from Florida, with the shoe. I'm interested to see where these guys go because obviously they're going to have like the label of, hey, you're the guy that pissed in the end zone. Hey, you're the guy that yeeted a dude's shoe 20 yards in the air. So, yeah, dude, I'm interested to see where these guys are going to go. And there's still a lot of difference. I'm so excited, dude. I am. This is probably the most excited I've been for a draft ever. Why? Because the schedule is going to be released after the draft. So we're going to get some good games on tap. But depending on who ends up where in this draft, maybe we could get a Jaguars-Jets Week 2 Thursday night football game.
Like last year, like all the terrible primetime games last year. Remember that? Bengals were on primetime like 3 times last year.
Yeah, the one against the Browns was good. That was a good game. But...
And the one against the Steelers.
Oh, dude. I hope they don't make any dumb decisions like that. I mean, they scored on that Steelers-Bengals game. They got bailed out like crazy that the Bengals won that game. Because if it was a good old-fashioned Steelers butt whooping, I would have been heated.
Yeah, I mean, the Steelers they lost a few times on primetime, and the one that was most notorious was the playoff ones. But I don't know. The Steelers are also an interesting team, but I'm excited for the year as a whole. I think it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, dude, you just can't wait for the NFL draft, man. We'll definitely, recap it all next week, but man, let's just sit back and watch the fireworks fly.
I'm excited, man.
All right, dude, let's get into the NBA. Holy crap, the New York Knicks are a winning team. Holy crap, the New York Knicks are a bona fide winning team.
I think this is the first time I saw that they were over 5 games over 500 since like 2014 or something. Those were the Carmelo days. That's crazy. That's crazy to think about. It's crazy that Julius Randle has made such a big difference on that team. It's impressive.
I remember when Kevin Durant signed with the Nets, and everybody was clowning the Knicks because they apparently didn't. They said, "You guys didn't talk to Kevin Durant. You didn't want Kevin Durant." And Stephen A. was clowning the Knicks for signing Julius Randle instead of pursuing Kevin Durant. And I'm just looking at that like, I mean, yeah, KD would have been a better difference maker, if he was healthy with the Knicks. But you can't tell me what Julius Randle is doing in New York is not special. You can't tell me that what he's doing is not special, because he's literally taking a team that has not been good in so long, and he's making them a bona fide playoff team, not a play-in team, where you can be 7 games below 500 and still get into the play-in tournament. No, this is a bona fide playoff team. They've won 9 in a row. They haven't lost since we came back from this season.
That's crazy. That's crazy. It's also crazy to think that they might get home court advantage as well. That's crazy. That's insane.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. I think I was even clowning the Knicks. They couldn't even get draft Zion. They didn't get KD. They didn't get Kyrie. Now look at them. They're insane. I mean, I never thought this would happen. The Knicks, they are very surprising. And I thought Jeremy Grant was going to be the player to win Most Improved, but it's looking like Julius Randle, and rightfully so.
Yeah, rightfully so. And obviously, no offense to Jeremy Grant, he did go off on a team that was, not really, as good as the Knicks. But man, just looking at the state of the Knicks, where they were a year ago, where they were 2 years ago, where they were 3 years ago, where they were basically the entire second half of the last decade. This is something special. I ain't never seen Stephen A. so happy. I ain't never seen this man go on Twitter and crack it up and just absolutely lose all stress in his body for the New York Knicks. This is unprecedented. And you know what? Remember earlier in the season I said I want a Nets-Knicks playoff series? You remember that?
Yeah.
Bro, I thought it was going to be a first-round matchup. Hey, the Knicks might mess around and make this a second-round matchup, because we're looking at the standings now. The Knicks are 4th, the Nets are 1st. If that stands, these two teams can see each other in the second round. And I would love it, because I love interstate rivalry playoff series. It is just an added amount of intensity to it. But you're talking about New York Knicks versus Brooklyn Nets? Oh my gosh. With the whole New Yorkness behind it. Oh, you guys could have been with us. Oh, you could have had KD and Kyrie. All that stuff is thrown out the window. We squaring up right here, right now. Oh.
You would hope they would allow some fans in for that series. You would hope.
Dude, I think that would be more heated than that Nets-Sixers series from a couple years back.
Yeah.
You remember Jared Dudley and Ben Simmons going at it and stuff like that. I think this would be a more heated series than that. I would anticipate it.
Okay, yeah, I could see it. Yeah, that would be crazy. Also, I think another thing that helped the Knicks was the D Rose trade. Without him, I don't think they would be in the position they are. He's helping out the young guys, him and Thibodeau, for the 3rd time. I mean, he coached him on the Wolves, coached him on the Bulls, coached him on Team USA, now on the Knicks. That's crazy. That's crazy. I guess D Rose, he is a difference maker at this point in his career after all of his injuries, which is really insane to think about.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, you're looking at him, you're like, oh, his career's done, this and that, yada, yada, this and that. He's contributing. I saw that game against the Pelicans. That dude was contributing, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. This that's something special, man. This dude is something. I mean, Derrick Rose has had an interesting after career, with after he left the Bulls. This has been interesting. It's like he's had some revivals, and he's been relatively healthy. This is like, wow, like this is great. It's great to see.
Yeah, it really is. One team that really just confuses me is the Bucks. What are the Bucks good or are they not? Because every single year we're like, oh, the Bucks are the best team. No one's stopping Giannis, but they aren't really that good in the East.
That's funny that we're talking about a team not being that good in their third place in their conference, but it's kind of true because it's like we kind of hold the Bucks to different standards.
Yeah, when you have a back-to-back MVP. Yeah.
Yeah, and number one seed in the East, number one overall, best record in the NBA at one point, and yada yada this and that.
And they supposedly got better. What happened?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously they still have time to turn it around, and I think they could beat. I think they could beat the Sixers in the playoff series. It's definitely possible that they could beat the Sixers. That would be an amazing series, but the Bucks. I mean, I don't know what to think, man. I mean, are they title contenders? I mean, I don't know who's gonna stop the Nets when healthy. But see, the thing about the Bucks is that they tried to build around Giannis more this season. They bringing in guys that can shoot because they looked at Middleton like, okay, he's a good piece, but he's not like grab the ball and take me to the promised land.
Yeah, he's not the Scottie Pippen to the Michael Jordan. No chance. I mean, they really need a superstar player next to Giannis. Don't get me wrong. Chris Middleton's good. He's made a few All-Star appearances. He is a good player. Same with Drew Holiday. But you need a superstar player alongside Giannis.
Yeah, and the thing, it's just weird to see this team just. I mean, they're not even really doing that. They're not even doing that bad. It's just that we're looking at the Nets and the Sixers like holy crap, Bucks, where you guys at? What you doing? You step up to the plate. Keep up. But yeah, dude, I'm interested. This is why you love playoff basketball. And for the Eastern Conference, maybe the first round won't be so watered down and washed up this year because we're going to have some interesting teams. We're actually going to have some interesting first round series. Like, if it were to stand right now, then we would see the Hornets in the playoffs. We would see Heat Sixers with the Heat as a 7th seed. That would be pretty interesting. And then Celtics Bucks, they've had themselves a couple of playoff series over the years. They split.
That's an ugly series, in my opinion.
Really?
That's don't like it. I mean, I think both teams are a little bit overrated, in my opinion. I do. I mean, you like we just mentioned, we talked up on the Bucks, but the Celtics, they really haven't been great all year. I mean, sure, they're doing decent, but compared to when you have two All-Stars in your starting lineup alongside Kemba Walker, you should be doing better. They just aren't really that good.
Yeah, and I'm looking at their roster. I mean, like I said, it's like Kemba Walker's fallen off so hard, and it's been so sad to see. He's been picking it up recently just a little bit, but he's not to where he was when he was with the Hornets, man. I was like, Tatum, Walker, and Brown with Smart coming off the bench? Oh, my gosh, this would be a title contender. And this team, when they made the Eastern Conference Finals last year, they could have very well made it to the finals, but they didn't. But, man, I'm like, okay, expectations are high this season. And I don't know what's going on. I mean, there was a point where they were below 500. They're flirting with the play-in tournament. They're only a half game above the Heat. Yeah. And the Heat, they've been starting to, well, pun intended, heat up a little bit. And, I mean, who knows what the Hornets can do, I mean, maybe the Hornets can, it's going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. But you know what? The same way you don't think the Celtics and the Bucks is a good-looking series, how about the Hawks and the Knicks being that good of a series? That would be amazing. Like you don't. What do you expect of Hawks Knicks if that does happen?
That's crazy. Honestly, I mean, the Hawks made a lot of additions in the offseason, a ton. I mean, they did trade away Rondo, but they do have Lou Will, who's really propelled them into a way better team, in my opinion. I don't know. That would be a very interesting series. I still think that the Knicks would overpower them in the paint, in my opinion. I think they're too big. I think they're I would say they're better shooters because the Hawks do have some shooters on their team. They acquired so many in the offseason. I don't know. I would have to give the series to the Knicks, though. I think they can do a lot more with the basketball in their hands and defensively, too.
Yeah, obviously they have the best defense in the league. You know, they allow the least points in the league. They like 104 point something. Oh my gosh, dude. That's why I would love to see this Nets Knicks series so badly. Because the Nets, you know, they nearly lead the league in scoring. I mean, the Bucks are the highest scoring offense in the league, but you know, right behind them is the Nets, and obviously the Nets haven't been fully healthy. But so imagine, oh my gosh, I hope the Nets are fully healthy if we do get a next Knicks series. Oh my gosh, dude, I'm telling you, that is the one thing I want this year in the NBA, a Nets Knicks series. I would, oh my gosh, dude, I'm telling you, oh my gosh. The game day nachos would be busting. The primetime pizza would be cooking. Oh my goodness, dude. Whew.
Yeah.
I'm excited, man.
That would be a crazy series. It's crazy to think that the Nets have only played like 4 games with Kyrie, James Harden, KD, Blake Griffin. It's weird.
I know, right? And obviously, you know, they lost LaMarcus Aldridge due to retirement. I hope he's doing all right.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that came out of nowhere. I was like, oh, man, he's been playing with this? Oh, my gosh. Yeah, dude. Do what's best for yourself. When you're an athlete, you really got to take your health into account, you know.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, glad he did that. You know, glad he is, you know, feeling better and stuff like that. Hope he has a great retirement. He had a decent career, you know.
He did. I think a lot of people think he's a Hall of Famer too. He did really well with Portland. Did really well with the Spurs. I don't know. It's unfortunate to see him go because he never got that ring that he deserved. But I guess wish him the best. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Can we acknowledge the Washington Wizards for a second, bro? This team was literally tanking it out with the Pistons, and now they're in the play-in tournament as of right now. What is going on?
I think it definitely has to do with the best player, one of the best players in Big Ten history, Cassius Winston, who gets a ton of minutes every single night. No, I'm kidding. But I do think that Russell Westbrook has made a big difference. He started off the season not that great, but over time he definitely got a lot better, a lot more comfortable alongside Bradley Beal, the highest scorer in the NBA. I don't know. It's interesting. I never thought I would see the Wizards in this position. It's weird. I don't see them doing too much if they do get into the playoffs, but I do think that they definitely are a lot better than they were at the beginning of the season.
Oh yeah. Now obviously they lost their rookie Avia.
Yeah.
Hairline fracture in his ankle or something. But yeah, dude.
Rui Hachimura, he's been good.
Dude, that boy, Rui, Bradley, and Russ. That's I don't know what to think about the Wizards, man. I mean, they've been winning, so that good for them. But just as proud as I am of the Wizards, I'm just that much disappointed in the Bulls and the Raptors. Again, why are the Bulls losing games? We gave you an all-star. We gave you Vucevic, somewhat of a presence in the paint. What is going on?
I honestly can tell you, it makes no sense. You get an all-star center, the second piece next to Zach LaVine, and he can't do anything.
This makes no sense, man. This makes no sense. I told my dad at the trade deadline, I said, Dad, your Bulls are going to the playoffs. Your Bulls are going to the playoffs. Look, LaVine, White off the bench a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's these random guys contributing off the bench with Vucevic in the paint. Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, we're going to the playoffs at least the play-in round. Nope. As of right now, it's not looking too good. You've lost 7 of your last 10, dude. I'm like, yo, what is going on in Chicago? I really thought this was supposed to be at least a play-in worthy team, dude.
Makes no sense. I can't even fathom it. I thought they were at least a little bit better before they got Vucevic, and now they're just not good at all. It makes no sense.
I don't understand it, man. But you know what else? What I do understand is as much as I want a Nets-Knicks series, I want a Clippers-Lakers series just as much. And what's sad about it a little bit is that we just might get that matchup in the first round, dude, because it's looking a little weird in the West, you know?
I mean, I do think that the Lakers have to get all of their stars back. Andre Drummond it's crazy to think that he has been really the only Lakers player over these past few weeks. I know AD just came back, but if the Lakers expect to do some damage, they need all of their players back. LeBron might be coming back soon. It's really weird. And then the Clippers, they're good. I mean, that Luke Kennard trade I think helped them a lot with their shooting. Definitely acquiring Rondo as well. That helped. It's interesting. It's kind of weird because we haven't really seen much of Kawhi and PG. It's like the Nets situation.
Yeah, I mean, obviously PG's been doing more.
Yeah.
By himself, which is good because that's really who we've been getting on about the Clippers for the past year is Paul George. Obviously, it's the regular season. We'll have to see what he does in the postseason. That's really the only thing that matters to people is what you do in the postseason. Because obviously, we've seen what Paul George done in the postseason. Yeah, but yeah, they could easily swipe the first seed. I mean, they're in third place, yeah, but they're only 2 games behind the Jazz.
And the Jazz just lost to the Timberwolves, I believe.
The Timberwolves. They lost to the Timberwolves.
You cannot afford to lose that game. You can't. You just absolutely can't. You can't. You just can't. And then, hey, that helps our tanking a little bit because the Timberwolves are starting to win a few games. That's good. They need a couple wins and then they'll be ahead of us.
Yeah, that'd be very interesting. Although we're right behind your tracks.
Hey, we still have the worst record. You need to get some more losses, though.
Oh, trust me, we probably will. Yeah, that's going to be very interesting. I'm really excited, man. These playoff races are heating up, man. There's only like 12 games left for some teams in the season. You know, a little over. Actually, no, less than a month away from the postseason. And usually at this point in time, we're talking about, you know, second round of the playoffs, you know, semifinals, stuff like that. And I'm just like, this is just as exciting, you know, even though it's pushed back a little bit. This still provides a lot of excitement. I think they did a pretty good job with the play-in tournament. I don't know if it should be a permanent feature or not, but it's definitely adding some tension and some excitement.
Yeah.
You know, with Golden State and San Antonio and Memphis, and, you know, all these teams that are bottom of the pack-ish, you know, very interesting.
I think we'll have to see how it actually transpires, and then I think they'll have to make a decision. But I don't know. I think it's all right.
Yeah, dude. But to wrap it up, I want Lakers Clippers. I want Knicks Nets, and I do not want the Lakers to repeat. Simple.
That's fair.
Simple. All right, Drew, take me out to the world of baseball. Okay, we cannot get through this topic without acknowledging the fact that the Oakland Athletics have caught fire.
Yeah, they started off the season 0-6, I believe, and now they've won 13 straight. I didn't realize how good the Cleveland Indians were in 2017. They won 22 straight. To think about that. That is insane. And Oakland has 13, which is a lot. It's quite a bit. I mean, winning 13 straight games is a tough thing to do. But 22 in 2017 by the Indians, that is insane.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I remember that streak because, you know, that was my that was my first full year of really getting exposed to baseball. But man, I mean, it's weird looking at the Indians now because it's like, wow, where did we go wrong?
Yeah.
But it is what it is. The fact that the Athletics are on this streak, I mean, they definitely did luck out with the Twins because that barn burner, that 13-12 barn burner, that was such an intense game. That's game of the year so far. I don't care what you say. That is game of the year. That game with the Twins where everybody was going crazy and bats were just flying and the teams were just basically chucking up runs on the board, and it was insane.
Yeah, it's crazy to think too that the A's, they don't really have like a true superstar like a Mike Trout. Yeah, sure, they have Matt Chapman, who's really, really good. They have some really good infielders, but they don't really have that star pitcher either. I mean, their pitchers are good, and their role players are good, but they don't have that like Francisco Lindor, Fernando Tatis, Mike Trout. It's really interesting how good they've done. I mean, I guess that proves you don't really need a superstar player to play well.
Yeah, and it also proves that you don't need to hit the panic button after a 0-6 start.
Yeah.
Because when you go on runs like this is unbelievable. I mean, it's been Broom Central in Oakland, and good for Oakland, man, because Oakland has lost a lot over the past few years. They've lost the Raiders. Oh my gosh, dude. All this stadium controversy and this and that, beef with the Astros, lost to the Astros in the postseason. This is decent. I like what I'm seeing from the A's, even though they knocked the Mariners out of first place. I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Yep, time to change to be an A's fan now.
No, okay, I'm not going that far. But I do respect the A's. I like the A's. I have nothing against Oakland. What I do want to acknowledge is that there's some weird teams in first place, man. First of all, the Red Sox are still in first place in the AL East, which is I mean, I'm not all that surprised because the AL East is not that good right now. I mean, Tampa Bay is only a game over 500. The Yankees are still garbage at this moment, even though they've won 3 in a row. They've gotten I believe they swept the Indians. I don't think it was a sweep. I'll have to look at the calendar, but they've won 3 in a row, so that's decent. The Jays, yeah, they're a little below 500, but they need George Springer back, and once they get him, I think they'll be straight. But the Kansas City Royals are still leading the Central.
I didn't think that was gonna happen. I definitely did not think that was gonna happen. It's quite interesting. I'm kind of speechless. I don't even know what to say, because them, like the A's, they don't really have too many all-star players on their team. Whit Merrifield, a Detroit Tigers killer, literally every single time he steps up to the plate, he gets on. I mean, he went 0 for 2 or to start the game a few nights ago, but just know he is a Tigers killer every single time he plays the Tigers. He is lethal, but I don't know. I don't know what to say about the Royals. It's weird. I have no words.
I don't know either. I mean, the White Sox, man, they're missing big opportunities. They are missing big opportunities right now. They should be, better. They should be better than where they are right now, even though they're still picking up steam. I think that Eloy Jimenez injury is going to haunt them. That's going to haunt them, man.
Yeah.
But, oh, geez.
You want to know what's normal, though?
What?
The Tigers still suck. Worst team in the MLB. Yes, sir. Yes.
Are we really going to do this tank job again, man?
I hope not, but if they are bad, I guess it'll have to be another year.
Well, it's between you and the Rockies, so I don't freaking know.
Oh, that's going to be a close one. 2 of my favorite teams.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting. I guess. I don't know.
No, it's not going to be interesting. It's going to be very painful.
I think it's painful that the Twins are right there with you guys.
Yeah, they started off well too, and then they've been the best team in the Central these past few years. They have also been struggling.
Yeah, I don't know what's gotten into them. I mean, hopefully they, pick it up because Byron Buxton's healthy and that dude's a stud.
Yeah.
I don't know what else the Twins need. I really don't. I really don't. But we'll have to see. Like we said, first month of the season. So still we got to calm down, pump the brakes. And we just got to give them time. We'll see what happens during the All-Star break. When the All-Star break arrives. But yeah. So Andrew, you remember during the NFL season where we absolutely clowned the NFC East for being so bad?
Yeah, I do.
So, what is it with these Eastern divisions just being, overrated a little bit? Because people sure were talking about this NL East, this National League Eastern Division being the best division in baseball. You look around the board, there's not one bad team in this division.
I still don't know where you heard that because I do not believe that one bit. It's crazy. I mean, I guess the only team that I saw realistically doing somewhat decent are the Braves. Other than that, I didn't see anyone. I mean, the Phillies, maybe. I really wish they would have made the playoffs last year. I mean, I like the Phillies, but other than the Phillies and the Braves, I don't really see anyone doing much. Maybe the Mets with Francisco Lindor and Jacob deGrom, but still.
But then they just got swept by the Cubs, though.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think the only team you could realistically see as a contender is the Braves.
Yeah, and they still have to pick up their steam. We know what they are capable of, but then again, there's no team in this division that is above 500. They're the only team. They're the only division in baseball without a team above 500.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, this year it seems like every single team in the MLB is pretty evenly matched, aside from the better teams like the Dodgers. But other than that, it seems like everyone's pretty evenly matched. Everyone is around the same win total, same loss total. So I don't know.
Go Padres.
Yeah, that has been a good series. Fernando Tatis, I think we should all acknowledge that he's definitely by far the best young player.
Yes, Tatis. Dude, did you hear what Trevor Bauer said about Tatis's pitchers that take offense to that are soft, and I agree. Yeah, I agree. It's very similar. This is so funny. It's like Fernando Tatis is triggering all these pitchers because of how good he is. Last year, he triggered the Texas Rangers because he hit a grand slam. I mean, who doesn't want to hit a grand slam in baseball? You feel me?
Hey, man, no, that's the unwritten rule. You can't do that. You can't steal third either when you're up by like 15. You can't do that, man. That's an unwritten rule.
Oh my gosh, I'm glad Trevor Bauer pointed that out, man. Because I'm like, yo, these pitchers need to buffen up. If you don't want the guy to hit a grand slam, throw a better pitch, man. Simple as that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if we saw another benches clearing brawl between the two.
Oh my gosh, dude! That might be the most interesting out of division, out of league rivalry in the entire MLB, because obviously there's been some tensions. There's been some interesting stuff that happened between these two teams. Obviously the Tatis controversy, and then the Texas Rangers stepped into San Diego, and that's really where Slam Diego started really heating up. And then Joe Musgrove no-hit them.
Yeah.
Dude. Oh my God.
That's crazy to think about. I didn't even realize that.
Get these two teams in the World Series. Oh my! And then the Padres literally played a playoff series in their crib.
Crazy,
dude. I ain't never. I'm just now realizing the link between these two teams. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious, dude.
It's insane.
But yeah, realistically, the Padres got off to a little slow start. I get it, but they're starting to pick it up. I'm glad they got a couple wins over the Dodgers. I like it. I think the series is even so far throughout the season. I hope the Padres clap the Dodgers tonight on primetime television. I would love to see that. Screw the Dodgers. I do not like the Dodgers. Go Padres. Go win the division. Or the Giants. I don't care. Anybody but the Dodgers.
Not the Giants. Anyone but the Giants, please.
You don't like the Giants?
They beat the Tigers in the World Series 2012.
All right. Never mind. But yeah, dude. That Dodgers Padres, man. That's gonna be. I think I'm predicting right now. That's probably gonna be the modern day Yankees Red Sox.
Yeah, I could see it. I definitely could see it. I mean, the interstate rivalries are the craziest. You see the Cubs, White Sox, all the brawls they had. I could see it. I could see it being a thing.
Oh yeah, dude. Speaking of the Cubs, so when did they start scoring runs? I mean, they've been putting up some runs in games recently. I've seen they hung 16 on one team, 15 on another team. I'm like, oh my gosh, did they hear that they were off to historically the worst start of any team in Major League history or something like that? They must have heard some things that we said and some things that the media said, because they've been closing the gap in the NL Central, and I'm liking it.
Yeah, I came downstairs the other day and I saw that the Cubs were on. I was like, hey, is this the first game they've won all year? Because it seems like every time I check in, they're either getting blown out, they're losing. I saw they were up like 15-0 or something. I was like, wow, this looks like the first time they've won a game this year.
Yeah, like legitimately won the game and blew somebody out, like big time. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is unbelievable. Like, this offense are they starting to get it going for real? If so, I'm gonna have to keep tabs on that Marquee Sports Network that they got. Hey, it's tight. It's tight in that NL Central, man. The Reds, they're starting to show little signs of slowing down a little bit. They've lost 6 in a row. Now they're under 500 and below the Pirates. Ew.
Yep. They fell off quite a bit. They lost a few heartbreakers in extra innings too to the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, and that's not really a good team to lose to, but yeah, you just gotta rebound. But yeah, hey, you're only 3 games behind the Brewers for the division lead, even though you're last place in the division. So, NL Central, it's pretty interesting. I'm kind of disappointed in the start from the Cardinals. Kind of disappointed. I expected them to be running away at this point, but I mean, we'll just have to wait and see, man. But I'm excited. I really see. This is why I got into baseball. Stuff like this, it's intense.
Yeah, go Tigers.
Hey, dude, real quick, I want to touch up on hockey. Now, there hasn't been much, to talk about throughout the course of the week. I mean, it's pretty much been the same old. The Western Division, we've seen playoff spots clinched. The Wild, the Golden Knights, and the Avalanche. Congratulations to those teams for clinching playoff spots. I'm really excited to see what the Wild do in the playoffs. But obviously, the race for that last spot in the West is getting interesting. The Coyotes, they're hanging on, but the Blues still have a few games on hand.
I would want to see the Coyotes make it. That'd be cool. Coyotes, Wild, Golden Knights, Avalanche. I like that. I really do. I like that a lot. The Blues, again, I think you and I both think they're a little bit overrated, especially with that signing of Jordan Binnington. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I think that was a bit premature on the part of St. Louis, but hey, he had one great playoff run. If he can get another in there, maybe that can provide some justification. But as of right now, it's not looking too good. I mean, if you're not counting overtime losses, you're below 500 on the season.
Yeah. That's sad. It really is.
Yeah, it is what it is, and whoever gets that 4th spot is going to have a field day with whoever finishes first, whether it be the Golden Knights or the Avalanche, because right now they're neck and neck, and they're fighting for the President's Trophy at this point. But
come on, Golden Knights. Dude, it's crazy because the Golden Knights are like obsolete. You don't really hear anything about them throughout the regular season, and then when they get to the playoffs, they're dangerous. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, right? And they're really good in the regular season, too.
Yeah, exactly, but you don't hear a thing about them.
It's insane, dude. You know what I do hear about? At least from you, the Montreal Canadiens. The prediction is still alive for you, and it's it's getting dangerous. It's getting dangerous, dude. They've lost three. They've lost two in a row, and the Flames have, they're starting to win. And then the Canucks, dude, they have played 5 less games, but they're only 8 points behind. They get 4 wins out of 5. They're tied with the Canadians. Oh boy,
that was your team last year. The Canucks were your team last year.
Yeah, them Canucks. Yeah, I was really high on the Canucks last year. I really like that. I really like that playoff run that they made. I wish they could have won Game 7. I would have been so hyped. But it is what it is. I don't have anything against the Golden Knights though. But yeah, dude, that I don't know what to think about the North because it's led by the Toronto Maple Leafs of all teams.
Of course, I mean, each year they're probably gonna win their division. But in the playoffs, they have yet to do anything. So,
yeah, it's iffy. Oh, I also remember earlier in the season, I told you that the Pittsburgh Penguins, I believe that they could win the Eastern Division. They're getting pretty close now.
Gross.
Okay. I was about to ask, what do you have against the Penguins? But I remember the back-to-back Stanley Cups.
I'm not a Sidney Crosby fan either. Come on, why aren't the Flyers doing anything? Gritty, get the skates, lace up.
Dude, the Flyers have been so garbage in the second half of the season. I thought they were gonna make the playoffs. I don't know what happened. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know.
It's unfortunate.
Sad, man. But you know what? I'm here for the New York Islanders going up against either the Penguins or the Capitals. Barry Trotz versus his old team, or Sidney Crosby versus
rematch of last year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
Which I predicted correctly.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I think I'm gonna pick the Islanders this time around.
There you go.
If that happens. Now watch the Capitals here. That'd be like ham mode activated.
Yep, Anthony Mantha's going to score 15 goals in that series too.
Oh, brother. But you know what? I think we can both agree that we like seeing the Panthers and the Hurricanes leading the Central.
Yeah, you especially. Yeah. Florida, yeah, I'll take Florida. I don't really have anything against, the Hurricanes. Sure.
I'll say this. If the Panthers were to beat the Hurricanes in the playoff series, I would not be upset one bit.
Okay.
I would enjoy that series to the fullest because I would know that the Lightning are pretty much out of the equation.
There you go.
Perfect. Not that I dislike the Lightning. I mean, well, I don't dislike the Lightning as much as you do. Not nearly. I mean, I don't really have any hatred towards the Lightning just yet. I mean, they haven't done anything to me, but I know. Red Wings, Lightning, yeah, they got beef. That's bona fide beef.
Yeah, don't like them one bit.
But yeah, the race for the Central is pretty interesting because Nashville's won. Nashville's been winning. Dallas is starting to pick it up.
Yeah,
Blackhawks are winning a little bit. Obviously, the Jackets got eliminated before the Red Wings. That's pretty interesting to me.
Yeah, and Dallas lost the game to the Wings too, which really hurt them in that race for the final spot. But it should be exciting.
Yeah, dude. Nothing like playoff hockey.
No, the best.
All right, Drew. So who is your MVP?
Oh, I like this one. My MVP is a UFC fighter, welterweight division champion, Kamaru Usman. He has a great story. You've probably seen him on commercials or whatnot, but his story is so impressive. He went to college. He was a state champion, I believe, in Nebraska. Really, really good wrestler. Came to the UFC with one loss under his belt in MMA competition. I don't remember his record going into the UFC, but I know he had one loss. And ever since he entered the UFC a couple years ago, he has not lost one match. 14-0. Well, defended his championship 3 times, including last night a knockout over Jorge Masvidal in their rematch of a few years ago. But it's just so impressive. He has the second longest win streak in the UFC history at 14, only 2 behind Anderson Silva, one of the best mixed martial artists of all time. So it's really impressive what he's done. Great knockout. He's really, really impressive. I mean, it's really tough. It's really tough to win 14 straight and not have one loss in his UFC career.
That's insane. And I saw the reactions of the broadcasters. That said it all.
Yeah.
That pretty much said it all.
Yeah, because if you think about it, he came in as a wrestler. His striking wasn't his number one thing, and he's knocked out a few opponents over his past few matches, which is insane.
I'm going to knock the homie out. Like, fight now. Okay, I'm off that. But my MVP, this is a bit unconventional, but this is history. I got to give my MVP to multiple people. Okay. Hannah Storm and I think it's pronounced Andrea Kremer.
Okay.
The reason why I give these two women the MVP is because they're going to be the first female broadcasting duo to broadcast an NFL game in the history of the league.
That's pretty cool.
Because you know how Amazon got that little deal for Thursday Night Football, that little package.
Yeah.
Now, I don't like that as a package in terms of television, but I like the fact that they're breaking barriers within the sports broadcasting field. This is going to be pretty interesting. I like it. So congratulations to these two women. They got the job and they deserve the MVP.
Yeah, very, very awesome.
Now, who's the LVP for you?
This one was kind of tough. There wasn't one person or thing that stood out, so I'm going to give it to New York/New Jersey due to the fact that New York sports, they haven't really been good. We talked about last week that the Yankees were last in the AL. You got the Sabres who are last. And for New Jersey, you got the Devils who are second to last. So those two teams are at the very bottom of the NHL. You go over to the Mets, they're all right. They're not great. Again, the Yankees, not good, not great. The Giants, again, they're okay. They're not great. They're kind of bad. Same with the Jets, bad. Giants, bad. And the only team you could really say is decent, I guess we could give it to three teams that are decent. You got the Knicks, the Nets, and probably the Bills. But 3 out of multiple teams in your state and in New Jersey, that's bad.
Yeah. Now, sticking with a little bit of hockey, I got to give my LVP to the Columbus Blue Jackets. This is an LVP that I did not want to give out, but I have to because it's been so sad to see their downfall. And, obviously they got eliminated before the Red Wings. I don't know how that's possible for them, but they didn't went ahead and did it. John Tortorella, I don't know, dude. I don't know, dude.
Yeah,
it's not looking too good.
He's been such a good coach, too. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, but it is what it is. Hopefully Columbus sees better days. They're definitely there. I don't see them beating out Buffalo and New Jersey for the top 2 picks, but it is what it is.
You never know.
Who knows, man? But yeah, LVP goes to Columbus. Sorry, Blue Jackets. I love you, but take this L. All right, dude, let's get into some trivia. Didn't you ask us a question about the Final Four last week or something like that?
Yeah, since Baylor won their first ever national championship, before last year, when was the last time they made it to the Final Four?
I feel like it's sometime in the 20th century or something like that.
Yeah, 1950. Quite some time since they last made it, which is insane to think about. They've had some decent teams over the past decade, but before that, not great.
Well, a successful Baylor basketball team was kind of foreign to me when I first started getting into college basketball, but here they are now. So I got to give them that props. The Gonzaga beat down. I can't get that out of my head now.
It's crazy.
But yeah, that's a good trivia question. I mean, March Madness turning into April agony for Gonzaga. They got Chet Holmgren, so that's somewhat of a dub. But yeah, you were right there, undefeated. Yeah. So I'm gonna shift my trivia question to the MLB. Since we've seen a couple no-hitters so far, I gotta ask, what is the record for no-hitters in a single MLB season?
I'm gonna say it's low, but I also think it's gonna be in like the 1920s Babe Ruth era. I'm gonna guess it's either gonna be a lot because it was back then, or it's gonna be like 3 or 4 in like the 90s. I'm gonna guess 4. That's my guess.
Okay. Okay, that's that. Hey, that's good because obviously, no hitters don't come around that often. Not that often,
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that we got 2 in the first month, I mean, hey, you never know. Records are there to be broken,
Exactly.
Unless your name is Wayne Gretzky. But that's another story for another day. But yeah, Drew, we talked about a lot today. Obviously, this past week in sports has been the reason why we love sports. A lot of things going on.
Yeah, and we have a very exciting week ahead as well. I'm very excited for the NFL draft. NHL's heating up. MLB's going crazy already. I'm excited. Same time next week, man.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. If you guys enjoyed this episode of Top of the Standings, give us that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or whatever streaming device you're using to listen to or watch Top of the Standings. Give us a like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and give us that follow on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, the Big Three. And then go check out our website. We got a new website up. This has been episode 33 of Top of the Standings. Wow, 33 episodes. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.